Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. We've offered Declan Rice 200,000 per week, a huge contract, and it is believed Deckers wants to join Arsenal. Mikel Arteta is at the heart of negotiations. He's already convincing the player about Arsenal. We're going to be diving into that. William Saliba is also set to sign a huge contract around £150,000 per week. That is not yet confirmed, but we'll be diving into that story as well. And Fabio Vieira has also given Mikel Arteta selection headaches. And that's according to Mikel. He says he's starting to give me selection headaches because he's starting to get to the levels where we want him. We'll be talking about Saka turning down Manchester City, Edmond Sapsoba, and more in this part of the podcast. So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get this video to 400 likes. And of course, in the comment section below, do you think we should offer Declan Rice 200,000 per week? Is he a statement signing in your eyes, in your own opinion? Do you think that would be kind of a statement signing that Arsenal have now upped their game? We have increased our wage bill from almost 100,000 in terms of a maximum per week to 200,000. And this is crazy because Arsenal before never used to pay players all this huge amount of money. Are we moving in the right direction? Does this show that Arsenal are going into the right direction? Let me know in the comment box below. Right, let's get into it. First and foremost, Arsenal have offered Declan Rice, West Ham's captain right now, 200,000 per week, a contract, which would be on a 5-year deal. Now, we understand, and I personally have seen this, Mikel Arteta really likes Declan Rice. He wants the player, and he believes he can get him for a bargain in the summer. So, everything has been said. We've approached these agents. We've talked to the player as well. We've not agreed personal terms, and I've seen a few outlets writing that we've agreed personal terms. According to the major sources, we've not agreed personal terms yet with Declan Rice, but we have offered him a 200,000 contract per week. He's not accepted that. He's not said, I'll sign for you. He's not said anything of that. That is the offer Arsenal are willing, and that is the offer Arsenal proposed to his representatives. Now, to be honest, I want to say this is a statement move from Arsenal. Declan Rice, for me, we've talked about Casemiro. We've talked about Partey, Fabinho, and Rodri. I think Declan Rice is not in that conversation because he's playing at West Ham, who are facing relegation. If Deckers was playing for West Ham, and West Ham in the top 4 right now, or probably, let's say, in the top 6 teams in the Premier League right now on the table, I think he would definitely be in the conversation of who is the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League right now. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very, very frank with you. I think his performances have gone down a little bit. Either that is because West Ham are playing generally poorly as a club. I mean, that could be a reason. Or this is a season where it's actually not happening for him. But either way, his performances have gone down a little bit. And look, it could also be the contract situation because he was forced to stay. He wanted to go. He wanted to join Chelsea in the summer. It didn't actually happen. Maybe he's frustrated and maybe doesn't want to be at West Ham. I'm not really sure about that. But what I understand is that Arsenal are in the driving seat and we are willing to give him £200,000 per week. So, look, if Arsenal raise their wage bill to get, and we have 5 players earning around 200,000 per week at the club, that is going to be a huge statement by the Cronkies. That is a real statement by the Cronkies that we are here to stay and we are here to back Arsenal Football Club and we're here to make this club better. In my opinion, Saka should be on 200k per week. Gabriel Jesus, 200k per week. Odegaard, 200k per week. And Thomas Partey. Those 4 players should be on 200k per week already. Now, you think about players like Declan Rice. If he comes in through the door, you've definitely, if you want to keep him for a very long time and also attracting him and beating all this competition, you need to pay him very, very well. So that is a very good move by Arsenal. I'm never going to say that Declan Rice is not worth 200,000 per week. Come on. I think he's not worth 100 million. I think he's not worth 80, 85, 90 million. If Arsenal can get him for 70, I'm okay with the 10 million per year. I'm absolutely okay with that. But let me know in the comment box below what do you think about that. But look, honestly, unless there is a bigger club that comes in, of course, Arsenal already have Champions League football. So unless there is a bigger club that comes in, offers him more money, offers West Ham more money, I think we will get this one done over the line. Like, we will get Declan Rice, and it's going to be a huge signing. I love Moises Caicedo on this channel. Everybody knows that I'm a big fanatic of Moises Caicedo, and I'll take Caicedo over Declan Rice just because I'm biased towards Caicedo as well. But I also think Arsenal will get Declan Rice, right? I think Chelsea will be looking at this and go, we've offered Mikhailo Modric a huge contract. We've offered Noni Madueke a huge contract. We've offered Enzo Fernandez a huge contract. And then we need to do the same with Declan Rice. I think they will take a step back. I won't be very surprised if they sign Moises Caicedo, give him 100k per week, and then make him that guy that plays just next to Enzo Fernandez. In my opinion, I think they will sign Moises Caicedo. Even of course, you've got to think about the link between Caicedo and Graham Potter. I think it would be easier for him to cross over to Chelsea than cross over to Arsenal, although he loves Arsenal and he would love to play for Arsenal, as well. But getting Declan Rice, for me, makes us a much better side, to be honest. I think I've already said this. He massively improves us. We get our midfield to a level where we can compete with Real Madrid. For me, if you have Aurelien Tchouameni cancelling out with Declan Rice, you have Odegaard cancelling out with. I don't think Odegaard is at the level of Luka Modric, to be honest. I think Modric is a legend, is a god. Do they have another number 10, right? Okay, Odegaard cancelling out with maybe Fede Valverde. I could see them at the same level there. And Xhaka, I don't think Xhaka would be cancelling out with any Real Madrid player. But you get the point. I think he's world class. I think it makes our midfield world class. And what I like about him is he would be a more reliable player than Thomas Partey. Get me right. More reliable in terms of availability. More reliable in terms of playing more games. More reliable in terms of being there when Arsenal need him. If we are going to play Man City in both legs, it's highly likely that Declan Rice will be fit. When you're going to play Man United in both legs in the Premier League, it is highly likely that Declan Rice will be fit. And then also think about this. If Arsenal win the title, for us to defend it, right, we must be at the topmost level, right? Right now, nobody thinks about Arsenal not winning it or winning it. Everybody's going to go, if Arsenal win it, they've actually done very well. If they don't win it, it's all right. They're still a young side. They will get to the levels where they want to be. But this is a project that has to show fruits along the way, right? So if we win the Premier League, we have to defend it, right? You don't win the Premier League and then finish outside the top 2 or outside the top 3. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. And next season, I think Newcastle will invest. I think City will invest again. United will invest a lot. More on that on the 90 More podcast, of course. And then Chelsea will be back as well. So for us to compete at the topmost level, while we have a lot of games midweek and over the weekend, we need to make ourselves world class, and Declan Rice brings that at the club. So let me know in the comment box below what you think about that. Now, of course, we know that Saka has agreed to sign a new deal with Arsenal. That is confirmed. He's going to be earning around £220,000 per week. William Saliba is going to follow in the footsteps of Saka by signing a huge deal with Arsenal. Now, there is a hint coming out that William Saliba's contract could be around £150,000 per week. Before we went to the World Cup, I talked about this and I said, if Saliba wants more than 50,000, we are in big trouble. We are absolutely in big trouble. Because look, if you get Saliba at 200k, the rest of the squad goes to 200k, to be honest. I think Saliba is wonderful. I think he's great. But don't give him 150k. Don't give him 200k yet, right? So the hint is that he might be on the way to sign a new deal up to 150,000. I think that's quite fair. I think Martinelli should be getting around 100,000, 120. Saliba can get 150. That's fine. Gabriel Magalhaes around 110, 120. That is absolutely all right. But to get all our players into the region of 200,000 per week, that is going to be absolutely detrimental. For me, Saliba has the vibes of Virgil van Dijk. And in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, if he becomes the real Virgil van Dijk, give him 200k per week, give him 300k per week. I don't have a problem with that. But before he becomes the Milan Skriniar, before he gets that tier of Milan Skriniar, Virgil van Dijk, Sergio Ramos, Carlos Puyol, Gerard Piqué, do not give him 200k, please, right? It's going to cause an absolute wage chaos at Arsenal. But of course, I'm very, very happy that the young lad is going to sign a new deal with Arsenal as well, right? So Mikel Arteta has come out finally on Fabio Vieira, and he has admitted that Fabio Vieira is causing selection headaches for him already. So this is his excerpt. He says he is starting to give me big headaches. He is a tremendous player, and he says he's starting to give me big headaches because every single day, what I see he is capable of, he is doing that. A tremendous player. He now understands exactly what we want, and physically, he is in condition to compete at the right level in this league. So I think, look, at the beginning of the season, he had an injury. You know that, right? Didn't have a preseason, had an injury at the beginning of the season. And when we played the World Cup not playoffs really, but look, the games we played between the World Cup and the return of the league, that kind of World Cup break, he was absolutely phenomenal. He's one of the players that were actually outstanding. And of course, you've got to remember that before we went to the World Cup, he had played for us in the Brentford game, and he had actually scored a stunner, but then he also had a very, very good game, okay? So in my opinion, he should be starting more often than Xhaka, probably, or more often than, not Odegaard, obviously. So it's going to be Xhaka that drops. But I also think if Mikel wants to continue with Xhaka until the end of the season, and that can win us the title, don't have a problem with that. Xhaka has been absolutely magnificent and phenomenal for Arsenal this season, okay? So Fabio Vieira, either way, he's only 21, 22. He's going to play a lot of football. It's like 8 years for him to play a lot of football, at Arsenal. And I'm not even afraid that he's going to flop. Glenn asked me the last time he was on the channel whether I'm a little bit concerned about Fabio Vieira on this season. And I told him, you look at players like Bernardo Silva, they always take that extra month or two to give you the player they are. But when they get used to the system, when they can easily identify runs of players, they can easily know who is around me and read the environment because they're now comfortable, they become a menace. They become a nuisance in the squad. And this is what I think Fabio Vieira is going to become, a real big game changer for us. So at the moment, Mikel says, yes, he's giving me selection headaches, but I don't think he's going to choose him over Xhaka this season anytime very, very soon. Now, lastly, the last two stories I wanted us to talk about. Thomas Partey has traveled with the team to the King Power Stadium. We are playing today at 6 p.m. I will have a preview later on just to discuss the last team news and everything that we expect in that game. So Thomas Partey has traveled. It is still highly unlikely that he will be in the starting lineup. But I've put him in my predicted 11. I said if he's fit, you've got to play him, okay? So he's traveled. That is a massive boost for Arsenal. It means if the game is going out of hand, you can bring him in at half time, and if you play him fast for 45 minutes, and we are winning the game, and we are winning the midfield battles, and we are doing well, you can take him off and bring on Jorginho as well. Now, lastly, according to Rudy Galetti, Arsenal are still interested in signing Edmond Tapsoba, and we're still following Edmond Tapsoba at Bayer Leverkusen. Now, this is a story that I did, I think, 2 summers ago, where Arsenal were really, really interested in signing Edmond Tapsoba, but the price was absolutely wayward, and the player decided to stay at Bayer Leverkusen, and Arsenal signed Ben White instead. So this story from Rudy Gallet says Arsenal are continuing to monitor Edmond Tapsoba for Bayer Leverkusen, who is a centre-back. The player appreciates a lot of interest from AFC, which have been following him for quite a very, very long time, and his evolving situation. That is according to Rudy Galletti, quoting a few sources there as well. Look, I don't think Arsenal are adding a centre-back right now. Edmond Tapsoba is not even a right back. He's a left-footed centre-back who can also play on the right-hand side of the defense. But I don't think with Jakub Kivior coming in January, I don't think Arsenal are going to add another centre-back. I think our priority is at right back. I don't see how this guy becomes a priority or even a target for us in the summer. So I'll just cover that story. It's absolute bullcrap. I think, look, the names we're going to be talking about in the summer: central midfielder, defensive midfielder, left winger, and a right back. Those are the 4 positions Arsenal will be looking to fill in the summer. If anything changes, then I'll be definitely letting you know. Follow me on the 90 More podcast, of course, for more of the football content, especially outside Arsenal, and more of my opinions, predictions, reactions, and everything. Make sure you do follow me onto that podcast on YouTube, and do subscribe as well. On the Cossy Arsenal podcast, you know all the good things. Hit the like button, subscribe, and see you later in the preview.